Hi, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be decorating a mason jar. I chose a large mason jar, decorated with our supplies that we have for card making supplies. And I also used a new product called Gilded Leafing Embellishment for the rim of my jar to give it that gold look. And I also have a pretty knob that I had bought at Hobby Lobby some time ago. And I'll give you some tips on how to put this together. Now, the paint I used was an acrylic paint. You can purchase this at Walmart or anywhere. You can even use old house paint if you wanted to. We painted in any color you like. It is a lot of fun to get all the ribbons and all the colors together, and this would be done in so many cute ways. This would be a real cute jar, maybe to put doggy treats, and you could use our kitty cat treats, and you could use one of the sets here. So just use your imagination, and you'll have a real good time coming up with your deal. I hope you will enjoy the video, and so let's get started. Okay, I didn't have my camera on like I should have had, but what I did is I took my ring, on my jar ring, and I coated it with multi-purpose liquid glue and put it all around the edges, all around this side and the top of the ring here. And since it had like a brass-like bottom that goes with the knob and a little top connection there, I decided that I'd go ahead and put some glue, some more of my multi-purpose glue on there, and let that dry. And then I poured some of the I've used Apple Barrel acrylic paint. You buy this at Walmart, and I chose to use black. And you'll also need a little bit of sandpaper for this. And I just put the paint inside the lid just to use it as a palette. And I'm going to put 2 coats on here. So I'm going to dry the coat and then go back and put another coat on here. Just to tap it on there. Now I'm going to, and I also took an ice pick and just worked the ice pick in here. And then just kind of worked it out so my hoe would have been big enough to take my screw here. Now this screw is going to be a little bit longer than it should be because this is only a smidgen of an inch, and you know, most wood goes to like 3/4, ½ inch to 3/4 inch, so it's going to be some extra there. If you have a husband that wants to hacksaw it off at the right length, that would be good. And just mark around my lid because some of this will be going underneath the rim, so it won't be showing. So if I don't get this exactly straight, it's not going to matter because it won't be showing anyway. So I just cut my circle. Next, this is soft suede, by the way, and glue that to the top. I did take a hammer and knock those little sharp edges of my hole punch, the hoe that I made from the ice pick, down. If you wanted to use a drill, you could use a drill too. I'm just trying to make it simple in case you didn't have a drill or know how to use a drill. The ice pick just did work just fine. Now this lid has kind of an indentation there, so I'm going to try to just stick it down there as well as I can. Take my bone folder. See if I can rub it down better. Next, I'm getting out my gold leafing embellishment. And I'm just going to stick it all around here. Then I'll take kind of a stiff brush A stencil brush would be perfect. I don't know where mine's at, so I'll just use this. And just kind of brush off that extra gold leaf. But anyway, as you can see, that's taken the shape of that metal real nicely. If you're using a lot of wear and tear on this, use a little water-based varnish on top of your gold leaf once this dries real good. Like, be sure and save what you brush off because it's still good to be used again and again. Okay, let's see if we can put this together. I'm going to take my hole punch and punch it back out the other way. And my ice pick. Okay. Now I've got some medium sandpaper, and I'm going to just take my jar and I'm just going to sand off some of the areas here. Kind of give it a little bit of rustic look. You probably could use steel wool for this as well if you don't have sandpaper. I have a piece of window sheet. I think that I'm going to stamp this on. Black stays on ink. And that would need to dry. While this dries, I'm going to take one of my flowers. I think I'll use the sunflowers for this because I want to bring in that kind of a orangey color that goes with my knob here. Whisper white cardstock, the memento. Stamp these stems right here too. Mango Melody markers, and I will use, instead of the greenery, I'm going to go ahead and use that bluish color like I have on my knob. Now your knob will be different, I'm sure, so just use the colors that you like or you think that would go with your project. And it looks like the pretty peacock would be the best choice to go with that. Yeah, let's go with the mossy meadow. Okay, so I want the majority of my colors to be this and this, and just little touches of the other color. So that's going to be my intent. So I like to go ahead and start off with my light, and I'm a bullet in person. And I will go ahead and fill in all my petals with the light. A little bit of the dark, and just put it in the center of each one of these. And behind these. Okay, looks like we could use a little bit of soft suede in the inside of these too. leaving this flower white. So I'll just put some little bit of gray on the inside of it. Maybe a little bit underneath these petals and stuff. Just to give it a little bit of shading. Then I'll go back. Now, I used the dark soft smoky slate. You don't have to use anything that dark. And then I'll go back with the colorless blender and just kind of soften those edges that I stuck that color on. Okay, and cut these out and see what this looks like. Here I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to make my tag, and I decided to use that scallop topper. There's several different toppers that Stampin' Up! Sells, so that's the one I have. And I started off with a 2" by 5" piece of cardstock. Okay, here you see me just getting several pieces of ribbon together that I wanted to use for my project. I think I've got like 5 or 6 different ribbons, and I'm trying to look for colors that I have to go with my project already. On one of the ribbons, I didn't have anything green, so I used, right here you can see me doing that. I'm using the green marker that I used for the project and just kind of sloshed on some of that color onto my white ribbon. And all the ribbons were cut at 30 inches long. Now I chose to tie all the ribbons together in one big bow around the top of the jar underneath the rim. And I will take my thing here. Hopefully this will fit on here. Yep, it'll still fit. And probably go ahead and glue this to here first. Just put some dots of glue. I'm going to put some glue under here. This dries clear, so I'll just go ahead and take a chance that it does, supposed to. Okay, now I'm going to take another piece of twine, 10 to 12 inches. And thread that through. I'll use my big old needle that I have here. Thread one end through and go underneath my bow. Try not to catch any of these things. Tie that little puppy on there. Hopefully the right way. Tie a knot first. Then tie another little bow. cut the corners off of here. I'm going to go ahead and cut these all at angles too. Thank you for watching the video. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. See you next time. Goodbye.